friends, it's Kelly and welcome back to Mama Needs a Goal. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you're new here, welcome, welcome. So I hope you all have been following me for Crocktober. If you are not familiar with that, every day for the month of October, I will be posting a link or a video for a crock pot recipe. As I have said in the past, September through the end of the year is always extremely busy for us with kids' sports, after school activities, just, you know, homecoming and you name it. It's just absolutely crazy. It's very hard to get dinner on the table, especially a hot meal. So crock pot recipes are great. The weather is changing and I love crock pot recipes during the fall season. And I know a lot of you have mentioned that as well. So I thought it would be fun to do Crocktober. So I really hope you guys are enjoying it. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you've tried any of the recipes. I really enjoy hearing from you guys. So let me go ahead and go over the ingredients real quick and then we will get started. So first I am using 2 pounds of lean ground beef. I am using 2 12-ounce bags of cauliflower rice. I will cook this in the microwave and steam it and then mix it in. I have 6 very large green peppers. I'll be using some minced garlic. I will be doing 1.5 cups of tomato sauce. Normally you would do 2 cups for the double recipe or 1 cup for the regular recipe, but I am not a huge tomato sauce fan, so I'm cutting back by 1/2 cup. So I'll be using some red onion because honestly red onion is my favorite, and then I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder, but normally it would just be a yellow onion, and I'll make that adjustment in the recipe. Some Italian seasoning, parsley flakes, salt and pepper to taste, mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to top it with a little bit of provolone cheese. So that is all the ingredients. We're going to go ahead and brown our ground beef, season it up, throw our cauliflower rice in the microwave to get that steamed, and then we'll go ahead and get these made and put in the crock pot. So let's head on over to the stove. All right, my friends, so before I get started, let me go ahead and start putting my cauliflower rice in the microwave to get it steamed. So this just calls for 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put it in for, I have 2 bags. I'm going to go ahead and microwave it for 4 minutes, I think. I'm going to do 4 minutes because it's going to be in the crock pot too. So we're going to get that started. And of course now you can hear it, I didn't think of that. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in my pan because we want to get the onions cooked first or sauteed first. So let's get that started. Get this nice and hot and take care of the onions first. And then we'll add our ground beef and get that done. So as soon as that gets hot, we'll go ahead and add the onion. It is nice and hot. So we're going to go ahead and just saute these onions up real quick. And while they're sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and open up the cans of tomato. I don't think you guys need to see that. I think y'all know how to do that. So let me go off and do that while these are sauteing real quick. Alright, my friends, this is looking good. I've already got 1 bag of rice cooked, and now I have the other bag in. Alright, I think our onions are good, so I'm going to take those over and add it to the bowl, and then we're going to cook our ground beef. So now I just have my 2 pounds of ground beef. We're going to go ahead and just add this to the pan. It's nice and hot already. Alright friends, had to go wash my hands real quick. So we're going to get ahead and get this cooked up. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Just adding about a half a teaspoon of each in here. Turn that down a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and let that cook up. So we'll add our cauliflower rice to our bowl now. Alright my friends, so we're going to go ahead and dump in the cauliflower rice with our onion. Like I said, I am doubling this recipe. Okay, there we go. Mix that up really well. Doesn't that look delicious already? And like I said, you do not have to use cauliflower rice. You can just cook yourself 2 cups of rice, or 1 cup. Obviously, I'm doubling this recipe. I keep forgetting to tell you that. So I'm going to go ahead, just stir up the ground beef a little bit, let it continue cooking, and then I'm going to go ahead and wash all my green peppers real quick. All right, my friends, my ground beef is almost complete, so I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of my seasoning. So I'm doing a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, but you guys will do a half. Like I said, I'll adjust the recipe. I keep saying that. I'm going to add my parsley, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in my garlic. And I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of onion powder, only because I'm using the red onion. And then I'm going to add a tad bit of salt and pepper. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and add in my mozzarella cheese. Double the ingredients here. Okay, I'm going to give this all a stir and get this mixed up really well. Probably should have went in a bigger bowl. Oh my goodness. And then we will drain our ground beef. And then we're going to go ahead and finish up with the sauce and the ground beef. I honestly think I'm going to switch to a bigger bowl because I have a feeling, because y'all know there's always mishaps in my kitchen with me. Keeping it real. I know if I don't switch bowls, I will end up making a huge mess. So let's get the ground beef drained and switch bowls. Alright, my friends, let's drain this ground beef. Let that sit there for a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and go over and clean out our green peppers and finally finish mixing the rest of this up. So let's head back over. Alright my friends, so my green peppers are all washed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the tops. Now, just a FYI, do not throw these away, because you can pop that out and then chop it up, and you can freeze this or just use it for stir fry. So make sure you do not waste. Don't like to waste. Use it all. Okay. Alright, so we got a nice little green pepper here. Put that aside. And go ahead and chop off the top of this one. Alright, my friends, so we're going to go ahead and add in our ground beef. Okay, let's put it in the sink. Alright, as you can see, I ended up getting a much larger bowl. Let's get this mixed up really well. So let's go ahead and put in our tomato sauce. Sorry for my reach. Oh my goodness, should have had these over here. Last can. Now this is pretty moist. Okay. All right, my friends, so that is it. I'm gonna go ahead. Oops, not mixed overly well yet. There you go. We're gonna go ahead and fill these up and top them with some more cheese and get them started. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some diced tomatoes on the bottom with the liquid. I think I'm gonna use maybe half of this can, and then put the peppers in. Well, actually I'm using the whole can. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that, and that way we have some liquid on the bottom. The tomatoes should cook up nicely in the crock pot. So we're gonna go ahead and start filling our, let's bring this closer. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and start filling our peppers. And I know I'm gonna have a ton of this left, and I'm just going to throw it in the crock pot because I am making a double batch, but I'm not really doubling the peppers. Okay, just like that. We're gonna sit that in there in the crock pot. Not all of these are gonna stand up perfectly. That's one that will. Okay, let's go ahead and finish stuffing these. Alright, my friends, this is my last one, and I do want to mention, when you're picking out your peppers, I didn't realize this one's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, indented, and it makes it harder to stuff. Make sure you get some really big ones that, you know, are nice and tall and straight, so it'll make it easier to stuff. So I'm putting my last one in, and like I said, because I doubled this recipe, I do have some left. I doubled everything except for the peppers because I like to eat this just by itself too. So I'm just going to put this in the bottom of the pan and let it all cook, and I'll just eat it like in a bowl. So let me turn the camera around and we'll finish up. Alright, my friends, so these are my peppers, and like I said, I poured that can of diced tomatoes on the bottom. So I'm just throwing the leftovers in the bottom of the crock pot because I will eat that all by itself. But this is something that, you know, if you have it left over, if your peppers weren't as large when you do the recipe, you can absolutely do this. But you really shouldn't have, if you get nice large peppers, you really shouldn't have any leftover like I did. I just making a huge batch, so I have it for lunches and I can freeze, kind of doing like a little bit of a meal prep here. But as I've said about 10 times now, so hopefully you all know, I will have the recipe for you in the description box so you don't have to do what I'm doing. But this is the way I make it, and it's not for everyone, like I said. So go ahead and get the last of this in there. So now Let me grab my mozzarella cheese, and I'm just going to top it off. Even though we mix some cheese in there, it's kind of like, you know, it's always good to have cheese, right? A little bit there like that. Okay. All right, my friends, so we are done now. I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on now. We're gonna go ahead and cook this on low for about 5 hours. If you don't like your peppers soft, you could cook it for about 4 hours and they'll be a little bit crunchy, but I want mine a little bit soft, so I'm gonna go about 5 hours, maybe a little bit longer, and then about 15-20 minutes before I end up serving this, I'm gonna go ahead and top it off with some provolone cheese. So let me go ahead and plug this in and set the crock pot to start cooking. So I'm going on low. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do about 4.5 hours and get it started, but you can actually cook this longer or for less time depending on how you like your peppers to be. All right, my friends, there we go. It smells delicious. Oh boy, does it smell. Oh, my peppers are really, really soft. I did let this cook. It probably was about 7 hours it ended up cooking. So my peppers are nice and soft. Put our provolone right on top of these. I went ahead and put my lid back on, and I'm just gonna let it go for about 15 minutes, and we're gonna come back and plate it up. All right, my friends, it is time to check. Let's get this out. And oh, does that look delicious. Let's go ahead and scoop one out. Smells really good. Oh, look at that, friends. Look at that. And then, let's go ahead and show you, here's the stuffing that I told you about that I just put in the crock pot. It kind of comes out like a little soupy. And I will put this in a bowl and just eat that. Get one out on a plate, you can get a good look at it. There we go. Look at that. I wish you guys could smell it. It is delicious. Alright, my friends, so that'll do it for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, as it does greatly help me out. And don't forget to hit that little bell, because it will notify you every time I have a new video coming out. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, because I do post over there. Facebook and Instagram pretty much on a regular basis. So friends, thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!